Question number 13. To make one cheese sandwich, Gina uses one bread roll and 2 cheese slices. The bread rolls are in packs of 15 and the cheese slices are in packs of 20. She's going to buy enough packs to have exactly twice as many cheese slices as bread rolls. And she needs to make more than 100 cheese sandwiches. We need to work out the least amount she can spend. So let's concentrate on this first part at the moment. She needs to have exactly twice as many cheese slices as bread rolls. So if she has 15 bread rolls, she would need to have 30 cheese slices. But as we can see, they only come in packs of 20, so she can't actually buy 30 cheese slices. So that's not going to work. But if she bought 2 packs of this, so if she had 30 bread rolls, I'll write 30 here, then she would need to have double that, so 60 cheese slices. And that does work because I can buy 2 packs of this and I can buy 3 packs of this, and then I've got in exactly twice as many. So 30 and 60 works. However, we now need to take into account that she needs to make more than 100 cheese sandwiches. So this at the moment is only going to make 30 cheese sandwiches. So if she wants to make more than 100, well, I need to multiply the 30 by something, a whole number that's going to be bigger than 100. So if I multiply it by 3, I only get 90, so I'm going to have to multiply it by 4, which gives us 120. So that means that we are going to have 120 bread rolls and if I've got 4 lots of 30, I'm also going to need 4 lots of 60, which means that I'm going to need 240 cheese slices. Oops. So we can see from that we have got exactly twice as many cheese slices than we have bread rolls, and we've also see that we can make more than 100 cheese sandwiches because we can make 120. This is the least amount she can spend because there's no way of us getting twice as many cheese rolls as cheese slices as there are bread rolls with anything smaller than 120 bread rolls. Okay, so well, 120 bread rolls. Well, that's going to be 8 packs of 15. So we're going to have 8 packs. And then for the 240 cheese slices, that's going to be 12 packs of cheese slices. Okay, so that's bread rolls, and that's going to be cheese slices. So our cost is going to be, well, 8 packs of bread rolls is going to be 8 times £1.88 plus, and we also need 12 packs of cheese slices. That's going to be 12 times £2.15. Okay, and then using our calculator we can say 8 times 1.88 plus 12 times 2.15, and that gives us a total cost of £40.84. So over here we can have £40.84. Question 14. The graph shows the cost of some taxi journeys. We need to work out a formula for C in terms of N. Okay, so we can see this is a straight line, and we know that we can write in a straight line in the form y equals mx plus c, but in this case we've got y is our cost c pounds, and x is the number of miles, which is n. So if we start by writing down what our y-intercept is, and that's going to be, we can see £2.50. So I know that I'll write it over here. So my y-intercept is equal to £2.50. Okay, I also need to know what the gradient is. I'm going to call that m. So my gradient, well, that's going to be the change in y divided by the change in x. So I'm going to draw myself a line here and turn this into a triangle. Okay, and I've chosen these 2 points because I can read these off quite easily and exactly. Right, so that's going to be the change in y, so that's £5.50 there and £2.50 there, so that's changed by £3, so we change in y of 3, and the change in x is going to be 5. So m is going to be 3/5. Okay, so because I know that I can write this in the form y is equal to mx plus c, so I'm going to say that c, the cost in pounds, is going to be equal to the gradient times by x, which is n in this case, so it's going to be 3/5 of n plus the y-intercept, which is £2.50. So I can write that as 2.5. So my answer is going to be the cost is equal to 3/5 of n plus 2.5. Okay. Question 15. Sammy is trying to work out the exact value of y using Pythagoras' theorem. This is her working here. Part A asks us what error has she made in her working. Now if you work through here, you may be able to spot that the error is going from this line to this line over here. Over here she's squaring the whole of 2y. However, in this line here, it's only the y that she's squared, not the 2. So that should actually be 2y times 2y, and 2 times 2 is 4, y times y is y, so it should say 4y squared. So the error that she had made in her working is 2y squared is not equal to 2y squared. Or we might want to write 2y squared is equal to 4y squared. Okay, and we can write either of those and get the marks, or describe it in another way. Okay, part B says Kai works out that y is equal to 5. Mel says y cannot be 5 because the hypotenuse should be the longest side and the other sides are longer than 5 centimeters. Is Mel correct? Well, Mel is correct in the sense that the hypotenuse has to be the longest side. However, what she's not spotted is that the hypotenuse isn't y, it's 2y. And 2y, if y is 5, 2y would be 10, which would be the longest side. So is Mel correct? No, she's not correct, because 2y would be equal to 10, and that would be the longest side. Okay, question 16. Here is a box plot and we need to circle the median value. So on a box plot, these two parts here mean the lowest value and the highest value. This bit here is our lower quartile and our upper quartile. The distance between this and this, so the width of the whole box would be our interquartile range. The distance from here to here would be our range, our biggest value take away our smallest value, so that would be our range. And it's this bit here that tells us our median, and it's the line that's inside the box. And if we read that off, that's 20, that's 30, so these are going up in 2s, so that looks like that there is going to be 28. So our median value is going to be 28. Question 17. P is a rectangle with length 50 centimeters. and width x centimeters. Q is a rectangle with width y centimeters. The length of Q is 20% more than the length of P. The area of Q is 10% less than the area of P. We need to work out the ratio x to y, and we need to give our answer in its simplest form. So we'll start off by writing down what the length of Q is going to be. So we know this is 50 centimeters. That's the length of P, and Q is 20% more, so we need to do 50 times by 1.2 to increase it by 20%, and that gives us 60 centimeters. So I now know that this here is going to be 60 centimeters. Okay, we also know that the area of Q is 10% less than the area of P. Well, I know the area of P is going to be its length times by its width, so that's 50 times x, so the area is going to be 50x. So that means that that's going to be 10% less, so I need to do the area of Q, which is going to be 50x times by 0.9, and that reduces it by 10%, and that will tell me what the area of P is. And 50x times by 0.9, well, 50 times by 0.9 is 45. That's going to be 45x. Okay, so that's going to be the area of Q. And we also know the area of Q, well, that's going to be 60 times y, so that's going to be 60y. So 45x and 60y must be equal to each other. So I can say that 60y is equal to 45x. Okay, now because I want to write this down as a ratio of x to y, then I want to get this in the form of x divided by y. Okay, so in order to achieve that, well, I'm going to start by dividing both sides by 45. So divide 45, divide by 45, and that's going to give me 60y divided by 45 is equal to x. I'm now going to divide both sides by y, and that tells me that 60 divided by 45 is equal to x divided by y. Okay, so I can simplify that as well. So let's go over here. So I'm going to say that x divided by y is going to be equal to, and 15 is a common factor for both of these. So there's 4 15s that go into 60, and there's 3 15s that go into 45. So we've got it as 4 thirds. So if x divided by y is equal to 4 thirds, that means the ratio x to y must be 4 to 3. So our answer here is going to be 4 to 3. So a useful thing to do is when you're trying to work out a ratio where you've got an x and a y that are related to each other, you want to write it in the form as x divided by y. Question 18. A school has 86 teachers. 42 are male and 44 are female. 1/3 of the male teachers have blue eyes. 1/4 of the female teachers have blue eyes. And we've got the universal set that's going to be the teachers in the school. We've got M, which is going to be equal to the male teachers, and B, which is going to be equal to the teachers who have blue eyes. And we need to complete the Venn diagram. Okay, so first of all, if 1/3 of the male teachers have blue eyes and there's 42 male teachers, we need to do 1/3 of 42, and that tells us that there are 14 male teachers with blue eyes. Similarly, over here, a quarter of the female teachers have blue eyes, so we need to do a quarter of 44, which is 11. So that's 11 of the female teachers have blue eyes. So we can now start filling this in, because if we know that there's 14 male teachers that have blue eyes, our intersection here, the middle region, that's going to be male and blue eyes, so that must be 14. So 11 of the female teachers have blue eyes, so that must be, the rest of this must be 11. And there are 25 teachers with blue eyes in total, so that would be 25. Okay, and we also know if 14 of the male teachers have blue eyes, the rest of the male teachers don't have blue eyes, so they can go in there. So 1/3 was 14, 2/3 is going to be 28, so 28 is going to go in there, and that gives us a total of 42 male teachers. It's all good so far. We know that there are 86 teachers in total, and so far we've accounted for 53 of them. So we need to do 86 take away 53, and that gives us 33. So the rest of the teachers, and those will be the female teachers who don't have blue eyes, are going to go in this region over here, and there's 33 of them. Okay, and that's all of it. Part B says one teacher who has blue eyes is chosen at random. We need to work out the probability that the teacher is male. So of the teachers that have blue eyes, so of this region here, we know that we've chosen somebody from this region here, because we're told that one teacher who has blue eyes, so we know that it's somebody that has blue eyes that is chosen at random. And we need to work out the probability that teacher is male. Well, there's 25 teachers who have blue eyes in total, so the probability of picking one that's male, well, 14 of them are male, so it's going to be 14/25. Question 19. Rana sells 192 cakes in the ratio small to medium to large is 7 to 6 to 11. The profit for one medium cake is twice the profit for one small cake. The profit for one large cake is 3 times the profit for one small cake. Her total profit is £532.48. We need to work out the profit for one small cake. Okay, so first of all, let's decide how many of each of these cakes that she sells. So I know in order to work out that, I need to total these up here. So we've got 7 and 6 is 13, add 11 is 24, and I need to do 192 divided by 24. So let's start by doing 192 divided by 24, and that gives us 8. Okay, so how many small cakes does she sell? So let's say small is going to be, well, we're going to have 7 times 8, which is 56, and then medium, and that's going to be 6 times 8, which is 48, and then we've got our large, which is going to be 11 times 8, which is equal to 88. Okay, so she sells 56 small cakes, 48 medium cakes, and 88 large cakes. Now, we know that the profit for the small cake, the profit for the medium cake is twice the profit of the small cake, and we know the profit for the large cake is 3 times the profit for the small cake. So we don't know what the profit for the small cake is at the moment, so that's going to be an unknown quantity. So I'm going to say let profit of small cake equal X. Okay, so we're gonna let the profit of a small cake equal this unknown value of x. So that means that the profit of a medium cake, so I'll write it over here, so that's going to be x. The profit for a medium cake is twice as much, so it's going to be 2x, and the profit for a large cake is going to be 3 times as much, so that's going to be 3x. So my total profit for the small cake is going to be 56 times by x. So we've got 56 times by x. That's going to be the profit of my small cake. The profit for my medium cake, well, I've got 48 of them, and I know it's going to be 2 lots of x is going to be the profit, so it's going to be 48 times 2x. And then for the large cake, it's going to be 88 times by 3x. And if I total the profit altogether, the total profit we know is going to be £532.48. So it's going to be 532.48. Okay, so I can simplify this because it's all in terms of x. So we'll write it down again. So we've got 56x plus 48 times 2x, which is going to be 96x, plus, and we've got 88 times 3x, and we'll just double check, 88 times 3, and that gives us 264x. To £532.48. Okay, and if I simplify all of this, I've got 264 plus 96 plus 56, and that's 416x. So 416x is going to be equal to £532.48. Okay, now to work out x, I need to divide by 416. So I'm going to do 532.48 divided by 416. And that tells me that x is going to be 1.28. Okay, so if we refer back to the question now, we want to work out the profit for one small cake. We let the profit of a small cake equal x, so this here must now be the profit for one small cake. It must be £1.28. So over here I've got the pound sign there, so we're going to have £1.28.